want to tell you a little bit about the history, so if you're interested, but I'm going to explain that to you in Minecraft terms, because we live in the age of internet. Basically, quick until 1998, nothing much. Like there is lots of in history of Venezuela, but not too much happens. Venezuela gets established, they create constitution, they find liquid XP, black liquid XP, which is like very good, and it makes machines go boom, and it makes a lot of emeralds, especially if you sell it to the villager north over the ocean. And they decided to do that, but you need diamond pickaxes for that, and the Venezuelans had only stone pickaxes, and they couldn't break, the obsidian to get to that nice liquid XP that was all over there. So they had to ask the people over, or ask. They basically, USA said, okay, we are going to do that. And they got the reserves of the liquid XP. They made the companies invest into that, and they started pumping it all the way. And that was 1920s to 1940s. In 1950s, Venezuela was the most rich village in the world. It was fourth best village per emeralds per villager. So very good. It was after the World War, so it was very hard to recover for Europe and Africa. That was always poor village. Many villages in Africa, but it didn't last too much. It was mostly because the US companies, every time some rich company comes into the country and invests into that, it ultimately, lots of that money go to the people. Some of the profit goes to the company, but most of it, because people work there and they create GDP, they have incentives. So it was a lot of emeralds for everybody. And then, too bad, because there was democracy. 1958, Venezuela installed the democracy 1.0 back, and they loved it. The servers were running very good in 1958, and then was the worst update. It was in 1976, and Venezuela said, you know what? Why the hell should USA, those rich villagers, get the profits of our liquid XP? Why they should do that? We should take it for ourselves. And they nationalized it. They nationalized all the liquid XP for themselves. But, there was all this problem before. They still didn't have the diamond pickaxes. They didn't invent them. Don't know why, but they started to get the liquid XP by themselves, but using the technology they had. And since then, actually, to this day, they did not build anything new. Everything old. So the production, because it no longer was made to make as many emeralds as you can, the breeding farms and every automation to exploit everything. Now they just chilled because they had it for themselves. It was state-owned, and state-owned things don't work well village things work well when they are state-owned. But it was working, it was working. But in 1989, there was this big server lag because liquid XP prices dipped a lot. Why? Because there was more liquid XP found elsewhere. Everybody just started taking it up and selling it, and if you have a lot of liquid XP, the price gets lower. If you don't, the price gets higher. That's basic economics. So in 1989 there was a riot, and there was like election, democratic election, and won Hugo Chavez, which is like socialist villager, and said, everybody is going to have everything for free, free school, free healthcare, and we are going to finance it from the oil, because that wasn't known before, but now it's known. Venezuela, the village of Venezuela, has the most liquid XP on the planet. That's the country with the most liquid XP. It's very big country. Like if you know, for example, a village of Ukraine, it's 2 times bigger than Ukraine. It's I think like almost like France, or bigger than France. It's bigger than France. So that was the first thing, and now we can go to the recent history. So in 1999, Hugo Chavez becomes the main admin of the server. He has cheat codes to everything. He can just slash times a day almost, and everything works. He goes in the streets and says, this shop that you have, the villager, now it's state-owned. No, you are not getting emeralds. You are state-owned. And it's called, socialism update. And the country up, that country doesn't like socialism. It never liked socialism. It likes capitalism, the pure-hearted money, not laundering, but making machine. So they make some nerves to them, to the trade with them and stuff like that. In 2013, Hugo Chavez despawns. Well, he doesn't despawn, he's actually laid into his tomb that's decorated and nice. We remember that tomb because we are going back to that. And now the Nicolas Maduro is handpicked by him. Nicolas Maduro was just a bus driver, and now he owns this whole country. What I didn't say, they had like a constitution, like rules how to run the village, and Hugo Chavez just said, that constitution, that democratic constitution that we did, it's not very good. Let's rewrite it from the start. And let's make me president forever. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And they did that. So he was president of the villagers. In 2015 to 2018, the Black Liquid XP got absolute nerf. It was nerfed to oblivion because everybody was like, we don't want to use it anymore. It produces some chemicals and stuff. We should focus on something else. And Venezuela, very specialized only into that. They destroyed all the working stations. Every villager, they didn't have the working station. They didn't have anvils. They didn't have fletching tables. They had nothing. So when the price dropped, they were like, what are we going to do now? We don't know what to do anymore. People of Venezuela would love to do something because they are very intelligent and very creative people, one of the biggest economies in the world. So when the economy crashes and you are reliant only on selling of the liquid XP, well, what can you do now? You import almost all of the food because you don't even know how to grow it, how to grow enough. Well, everybody's going starving, so villagers did not mate anymore. You couldn't lock them inside 4x4 cell, put 2 beds there and they would be happy and farm and make more villagers. No, that's not working anymore. So Venezuela was basically freaked. And you could see in Minecraft TV that villagers were eating rodents and what they found on the street. It was quite terrible. In 2019 there was dual admin glitch. He made fake admin Guaido as the owner, but he was still the admin, because now when everything goes to nothing, they had to start making money somehow, so they started doing drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. They started doing drugs, and that Maduro, he used his privilege as a president as a president, and he was sending drugs to USA, to that village we talked about before, and they didn't like it, because a lot of villagers were dying. They were despawning all the time. It was raid every minute almost, raid after raid, and you couldn't fix it. You couldn't make enough iron golems to protect it. It was terrible. So they imposed more sanctions, absolute sanctions, and they, in 2020, I think it was, in 2020, they actually put 50 million emeralds bounty on that Nicolas Maduro. And, well, yesterday or 2 days ago, I think, the new president of the USA villagers, he was saying, we are going to get you and something, and he didn't surrender, he didn't go. They were making the boats go boom a lot of times, so the trucks didn't come, but they just had no idea what to do. And there was this big military operation where basically USA villagers used very special techniques, they turned off the lamppost in all the village, because they somehow did it. They hacked the server, the town server, then they switched it like that, and everything went black, dark. Then they flew in. They just parachuted down, parachuting drop. They went into his bed, grabbed him in pajamas with his wife and son, just loaded them into the chopper, put massive, absolutely massive goggles on him, and sent him to, I think, New York. He's now in New York, so it was free. And meanwhile they used TNT to drop on all the anti-TNT stuff, and one TNT they dropped on the Hugo Chavez, the socialist, doomed to vaporize it, just because they can, so they did that. And that's basically all. That's the whole history of Venezuela. And if I have Venezuelans that hopefully will have now better future, my comments. You can let me know if I missed something. This is how I understand it. I'm not like perfect. I just read on the internet and Wikipedia. But this is how I think it happened. The short history of the modern Venezuela. Of course, we are not going to like Sim Bolivar and stuff. So, what do you guys think about that? I like the operation, like somebody who likes Art of Iron and all this stuff. This was like Call of Duty mission. I didn't play Call of Duty for a long time, but and as somebody from Eastern Europe, which many Westerners will probably not understand, that like getting rid of socialist dictator feels good. Feels good. So we'll see now. Of course, the USA villagers will get that Lewitt XP again. They will make it running. They will invest 1 billion emeralds into that, what I heard. So the Lewitt XP will get a lot of cheaper, I think, for everybody, not for only for it also helps, it very helps, like the consequences now of geopolitics, if you are interested in that. It really helps with the Ukraine and Russia stuff, because lowering oil, that's the biggest like joker card. So what do you guys think? I hope you are doing fine. I'm doing fine. And I will see you next time at some quizzes or something. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you. Bye.